taking out 29 other men in St. Louis, the Warrior. Yes, Sheamus is the Celtic Warrior. It's a victory that's his. He had to eliminate Chris Jericho with the bro kick. He's the Warrior. Then he would go on to Mania 28 in Miami and take on Daniel Bryan and beat him in 18 seconds. The Warrior, yes, he's the Celtic Warrior, and victory was his on this night. I'm John Renton with the Retro Review of WWE Royal Rumble 2012. And boy, Patty Smith would be really goddamn upset with what I did to The Warrior, but goddamn, that's a great goddamn song. Despite the fact that I completely butchered it. But yes, the 2012 Royal Rumble, where I would argue that Chris Jericho probably should have won, even though we may have had to go a different route to have Sheamus, have too many limes, and eliminate Daniel Bryan in 18 seconds, or beat him in 18 seconds, rather, from, the opener of Mania 28. And then we got the yes movement, yes, and oh boy, this goddamn event wasn't very good. Now, there was a pretty raucous crowd in St. Louis, but my fucking goodness, rewatching this, it wasn't that good to begin with, but I'm like, okay, time has been more kind to some events that have happened in the last 10 or 15 years. I watched the 2007 Royal Rumble, and this was not that. This was kind of more of like the older Rumbles where they had a lot of people that would just run in, get eliminated, they would focus on a few people, and that wasn't the worst thing. But the thing about it is the eliminations are spread out. Like, you only had a couple people that got maybe 3 eliminations, and Sheamus winning, it wasn't the worst thing, except they kind of hyped up Chris Jericho returning, and since Chris Jericho versus CM Punk would end up being a better program than Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, you could argue that Jericho should have won this Rumble. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. St. Louis Scottsdale Center, or Scotts Trade Center, that is, not the Scottsdale Center. We're not in Arizona. 18,000 fans, and the dark match was Yoshitatsu versus Heath Slater. Well, at least only the live crowd had to see that. So, the commentary was fucking abysmal, I just want to say. Heel Michael Cole. This would be one of the last events that heel Michael Cole would be calling, because in September, when Jerry Lawler did suffer that cardiac, incident, and thankfully did survive. That was a little bit scary. They got rid of heel Michael Cole, and Jerry Lawler and Booker T were the other 2 commentators. And let me just say, they were one of the worst commentary trios that has been on a mainstream wrestling broadcast in quite a while. Daniel Bryan versus Big Show versus Mark Henry. 3-way steel cage match for the world title, and, well, Bryan was a cowardly heel. The 2 monsters smashed into each other, tried to attack him, and eventually Bryan got the victory by dropping away from Big Show's big, meaty fist. And when a big, meaty fist grips you and you want to get away from it, and why would you? Who wouldn't want a big, meaty fist gripping, pounding, striking? Lost my train of thought right there. Bryan drops and gets the victory. And this is actually not a bad opener. The crowd was into it. The crowd actually made this event a lot better than it really was. And at least, Bryan got to celebrate and do the whole yes thing, just being all cocky, jackass. And then we get a hype package for Cena versus Rock, where Cena was the focus here. And then we get a package focusing on Dwayne's Rock Hard Johnson and the return to WWE. Even though he teamed up with John Cena at Survivor Series in Madison Square Garden just a couple months prior. So we get one women's match. One women's match, and there was only even the women that weren't that talented here still deserve better. This was maybe 5 minutes. It was Beth Phoenix, Natalya, and the Bellas against Kelly, Eve Torres, Alicia Fox. And I would try to do, Alicia I can't do it like Derb used to and hold that voice out. Tamina was also there. And they were pushing the whole Eve and Zack Ryder angle. Remember that? Where Zack Ryder won the U.S. Championship after getting himself organically over, then they beat the shit out of him. He lost the U.S. Championship, and that was it. That was it. Seriously, they just completely neutered whatever the fuck he had. And then he won the Intercontinental Championship at Mania 32 and lost it the next night. Good stuff. Good stuff. Really. Not that I'm the biggest Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona fan, whatever, but when you have somebody that actually is organically over, you should go with it. You don't zap it with a taser, as CM Punk once said. So, yeah, there really wasn't all that much to this. The Bellas were never really all that good, but this match is just a mess. Kelly dives on everybody, the Diva dominoes, and then a glam slam where Beth seductively tops Kelly 1-2-3. I wasn't complaining. So anyway, recaps of the Kane, Cena, and Ryder feud. And Johnny Ace, or John Laurinaitis, People Power! Ah! God damn, ow. How the hell does he have that voice? He welcomes Zack Ryder, who's in a wheelchair, and Eve doesn't buy what he's selling. He's not around the horn. And he, basically has his own private locker room. And Eve says, I hope you're fired tomorrow, Johnny Ace. Cena versus Kane. Oh dear, that's a lot of boos for Cena. The whole embrace the hate thing. Why was Kane given a welder's helmet? And why was this? Oh yeah, the feud was about embrace the hate. And it wasn't very good. The crowd was into it. Cena and Kane just had no chemistry. None at all. Kane kept going for rest holds and that, the claw hold. He kept doing this and everything like a face hugger. Face hugger. Ah! I don't know why the hell I was doing that, but that was more interesting than anything going on in this. He just did this. Help me. Anyway. Yeah, they ended up in a double count out. Hooray! And then they had a backstage brawl, and then Kane found Zack Ryder after laying out Cena with a chair and choked him out and did this again. No! And took him to the ring, tombstoned him, even though Eve kept begging him not to. Cena came down and got laid out. And Eve was looking all scared and being frightened by Kane. Oh, I see, it's okay when a wrestler does this, but when I do... Moving on. That was basically the angle right there. And then Zack Ryder got stretchered out. Stretcher, I barely know her. Then we get a rock video package on Dwayne's Rock Hard Johnson and a return to form in WWE. I will say that the Mania 28 match was a whole lot better than that had any right to be, and that is chalked up to Cena helping carry Rock through it. Rock, who is an incredible athlete, hadn't been in the ring competitively besides one match in 8 fucking years. And, there's no way to make up, that amount of ring time. You have to have a ring general in there, and as much as I knock Cena, Rock could do that through muscle memory alone, but for that long of a match, Cena did a lot of that shit, and it was really good. So, Drew McIntyre won a match to get into the Royal Rumble, so he took on Brodus Clay. Commentary mentioned this was a Rumble qualifier. Neither of these guys were in the Rumble match. It lasted 65 seconds, and Drew McIntyre lost. Man, what a difference 8 years would make, or just a few years would make. Remember Cameron? I wish I didn't. Punk versus Ziggler, WWE Championship match. Johnny Ace or John Laurinaitis, People Power, got assigned as the referee. And if he wasn't impartial, he would likely be fired tomorrow. And they had another referee there. Vicky wasn't there long, thankfully. She got kicked out. Johnny Ace kept trying to play nice, even though Punk had been picking on him and he'd been picking on Punk, and and they've been doing all this stuff and everything. And Punk, I don't like you. You're more talented than I am. Ah! So anyway, goddamn that voice. The match was good for what it was, but the whole storyline was distracting. Eventually, the first referee got knocked out, and then Ace kept being dumb and checking on him and everything, even though there were near falls and submissions or pinfalls and stuff like that. And eventually, second GTS, 1, 2, 3, both of them make the count, and that's it. Cool. Match really wasn't all that good. Let's look at the numbers and talked about all the weight, the massive, huge manatees that have been in the Rumble. I would like to see a Rumble full of manatees. That would be hilarious. So anyway, 30-man Rumble match. Okay, so this was not exactly a star-studded wrestling match. A star-studded Rumble match. There were some moments where, a couple guys lasted 40-plus minutes, and they barely did anything. Miz at number 1 lasted 45 minutes. The first 2 eliminations he had, the only 2 eliminations he had, happened in the first few minutes. Cody was in at number 41, or number 40, not number 41. They did not do a 40-man Battle Royal or a 40-man Rumble like they did before. He lasted 41 minutes, and it was all smoke and mirrors. I wonder whatever happened to Cody. He just seemed to vanish off after this. I mean, he would never be the kind of person to get a stupid neck tattoo, even, if he went to another company. Oh. So lots of people were chucked out quickly. I mean, a lot of people. Primo and Epico, various others. Foley was in at number 7 to a huge pop. He eliminated 3 people. Mick Foley, who was barely able to move at this point, eliminated 3 people. Ricardo Rodriguez came out to Del Rio's music in a beat-up car. He was in at number 8. Santino and Foley did the Cobra Sacco thing. I don't know what the hell's on with what the hell I'm even on about, but whatever. Might as well have fun with a Rumble that wasn't. It had its moments, but this felt more like the Rumble was mostly an afterthought until we got to like the guys that might win the goddamn thing later in there, which there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're going to have somebody from number 1 pull like a Ted DiBiase and last like 40 plus minutes, have them eliminate more than just a couple people. That's just my thing. King was in number 12. He got eliminated in like 45 seconds. Ezekiel was in number 13. Ahmed Johnson chants, not wrong, except Ezekiel actually had personality. He didn't sound like great googly moogly whenever he talked, unlike Ahmed Johnson, who never made sense on promos. Jinder was in number 14. Khali in at number 15. He eliminated a few people as well. The great Khali, who couldn't fucking move really ever, but especially by this point. Hunico was in at number 16 with Camacho. Whatever happened to Camacho? I mean, man, if only he was realer than a gorilla. Oh, right. It's Tangaloa, by the way, in case you're wondering. Booker was in at number 17. Actually lasted a few minutes. Lasted a few minutes longer than some of the other participants. Kofi does the whole handstand thing to get his feet back on the steps and not have them touch the floor. This would continue a tradition of Kofi Kingston doing great things and spectacular feats of athleticism and just insanity to avoid being eliminated from the Rumble. I wonder what he's going to do this time. Maybe he's going to jump off the goddamn logo and somehow in there. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just do something good. Like Kofi's going to watch this. But Ziggler was in number 18. And Vicky was there. God damn it. We just can't get away from Vicky Guerrero then or now. So, Hacksaw Jim Duggan comes out at number 19 to a big pop. He's the first ever Rumble winner. The first ever official Rumble winner, even though Big John Studd won the first, 30-man Rumble. Hacksaw won the 20-man edition the year prior. He got tossed in a minute. Glad that Hacksaw Jim Duggan, by the way, beat Cancer because Cancer's a goddamn bitch. Cole was in at number 20. Yay, we get to see Michael Cole in the ring again. That'll put fucking butts in seats. Karma comes down. Kind of a sad story here about Karma. She had a good debut, got pregnant, went away to obviously have the kid, miscarried the kid, which is terrible, and then came back and this is, I think, her only appearance. I don't think she had any other appearances after this. The announcers pulled Cole down because he didn't want to hit a woman or whatever, mainly because Karma would have destroyed him. Karma eliminated Hunico. Thanks for coming, future Sin Cara. Sheamus in number 22. Road Dogg in number 23. This is when Road Dogg's heart was still in the goddamn thing, and he was in the company. Oh, you didn't know? So, Otunga was in number 27. Yes, David Otunga once wrestled, if you want to call it that. Orton was in number 28, St. Louis's own Big Pop. He lasted about 6 minutes. Jericho in number 29, lasted 11. Show was in at number 30 and eliminated 4 people. Pretty quickly, I think within a minute. It comes down to Sheamus and Jericho, and they battle. They have their own match. Boom, 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 boom. And then bro kick, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. Sheamus would get the rocket push. Unfortunately, it wouldn't end up working. And not that Sheamus didn't try. Not that Sheamus wasn't worthy of being a world champion, but the way they did it, it didn't work. But at least we ended up having, I guess, somebody that the crowd popped for, though I would have argued Jericho winning it would have meant more, but it is what it is. I mean, the point is we got both the title matches at Mania. I just feel like Sheamus winning the Elimination Chamber and him switching the whole thing around for a world title shot might have been the smarter thing. But it was what it was. Agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethlin. I'll see you soon.